Hey guys, welcome to the America Files, and we're going to be talking about parasocial relationships. People having relationships with streamers. With right now, Dean Withers is live, and I follow him on a daily basis and have been recently. But I am not under the illusion or impression that I have any type of friendship with him, that
Right.
he gives an F about me. And Brandon actually brought up this conversation. And Brandon, before I let you
Mhm.
do your thing here, because you've got some interesting insights, let's just listen real fast to this clip from a TED Talk. And let's get to the core of what's actually going on, because parasocial relationships are taking us out of our community, our neighborhood, our schools, out of being checked by the people around us.
And that has led to two questions in the psychology of fiction. The first is, why do we spend so much time and so much money and so much emotion on something we know isn't real?
So there it is, Brandon. Why?
Man, that's a difficult question to answer. I figure lonely. Why do we invest in something? Because we don't have an alternative. Because we are feeling and creatures that require social interaction. And when you don't have that, perhaps in your town or your family or your friends or real life, well, then you end up trying to get it from elsewhere. And this isn't new. Parasocial relationships the term was coined by two psychologists, Donald Horton and Richard Wall. In 1956, this is when TVs came out. And they realized that they noted that TV viewers began to develop the illusion of intimacy with characters on the screen. I'm saying characters. It didn't even need to be like a talk show with like the host and using his real name. It could be characters, and they would go and seek out the writers of the characters. And then in an extreme, only really crazy people would feel this emotional connection with these people on the television. It was rare. But
And
now,
in that
yeah,
same TED Talk, the woman talked about how if you read Harry Potter or watch the movies, you're spending time with Harry and Ron and Hermione. You're
right.
with them. Or if you watch How I Met Your Mother a lot, it's my comfort show. And I know the characters. I can relate with them, and it weirds me out that they're so much older now.
Right.
It can actually cause a sort of disassociation. But to what you just, what we're talking about, if you don't have friends in your life physically checking you, giving you feedback so you can't flail, you will flail. And this is, we need somebody to tell us, hey, yo, that, no, can't say that. No, that's not cool. Hey,
Hmm.
you ever think about saying it this way, man? Because,
Hmm.
it's like we need that in our lives. It's a little bit of stress on our nervous system to let us know that there are boundaries and that there is a way to respond. If
Right.
you do not exercise your stress response, you will explode anytime anybody challenges your beliefs, which become self confirming because of algorithms that we talked about in our last video. These algorithms are like self fulfilling prophecies that loop everything you
Hmm.
believe, because that's where you put your attention back again and again and again. And so anybody who pushes against that becomes an enemy that you will lash out against.
Hmm. To feed off that is if you have a friend and you're afraid to call them out on it, it's not because probably like for example, if I had a friend who was saying some off color stuff and you don't want to risk the friendship, right? Oh, I've known them for so long, blah, blah. But it's worth it to a really good friend is someone who can take feedback and accept that they might have done wrong. And you can have that honest conversation with them. If you can't talk with someone like that, I don't know if it's worth it to have a friendship with someone like that.
Well, it neuters our ability to have real friendships because it kind of makes us a little weird,
Mhm.
a little delusional, a little out of touch with
Right.
reality,
So
which
no
is
one can
like
tell you that you're being full of it. It's like
Mhm. And that's not something that draws new friends into our lives when we act that way, or we perceive
Mhm,
or are perceived that way. And
mhm.
it can make us feel really lonely, and it affects men and women differently, affects everybody differently, regardless of gender. But for men, with all that testosterone, especially young men, they need to get checked. And just the absence of that is changing society radically. I wanted to show you this one as well.
Were shocking at first, but now that I'm like processing that, the artist that I've known for the longest in my life sat there for a moment and I was like, she's engaged, like, girl, be happy.
Think about, is this unhealthy for me to feel this level of happiness for someone I don't know getting married? I have seen some wacky things on the internet lately, and over the span of
So
Yeah.
weird,
It's
right?
extreme amount of connection with someone who doesn't know anything about you. Like they're
And
a non-person to that.
and to not have that actually in your life, how lonely must that actually feel?
Right. You're not building genuine memories and stories with people you know. You're not gonna be 70 years old and be talking wistfully about how you watch Taylor Swift or
Well,
whoever the
when you
hell.
look at somebody, you're building empathy.
Mhm.
Even though I know there's people now who believe empathy doesn't exist, which blows my mind.
Mhm.
But you are, when I was a for hire copywriter, a freelance copywriter, helping people write their advertising, I would not take somebody's money unless I had them on video. I was able to talk with them. I was able to create a connection with them. I need to know who you are. I'm not making some nameless face rich just for shits and giggles because your eye is bitter. What?
Mhm.
That's lifeless. And that's how these parasocial relationships feel to me, lifeless, because they're not actually connecting, and therefore they're not actually getting the serotonin, the oxytocin, the dopamine, the norepinephrine, you know, the the, the adrenaline, the cortisol. They're not having real physiological responses, which means that their nervous system is never actually conditioned by real life. It's conditioned by this artificial life that doesn't exist.
Mhm. Conditioned to fake reality. That's that's scary to think. And actually thinking about that first question you asked me, intimacy. I think it's intimacy, which is why people get so attached to these stories or these characters or these people like Dean Withers or whoever that
Well,
woman.
he's on every day.
Yeah.
It's predictable. It's comfortable.
Mhm.
The familiarity and the routine is something that humans seek. A lot of humans, more humans than not, seek that out. It's comforting.
Mhm.
That predictability, that
And
knowing that he's going to be there, or whoever he is. I Show Speed came over to Portland and was mobbed,
Mm.
absolutely mobbed, like the freaking Beatles in what, 62? Like, what
Yeah,
the
oh my god, people used to faint when they would watch the Beatles,
Mhm.
man. I think it's and especially with fictional characters, I think it's because you learn so much private detail about them that you think you know them so well. That is really hard to learn in real life. Like, it takes time and effort to grow close with someone where you know everything about them, right? I mean, maybe the spouses are the only people that people get that close to, whereas Always Sunny or what was that show? How I Met Your Mother that you
Yeah.
were talking about? Where you learn everything. You're there with their deepest, darkest moments and everything in between.
Do you have comfort shows?
Um,
Do
God.
you follow any creators? I introduced you to Dean Withers, Adam. Were there people that you already followed?
Not surprisingly, I guess not. I a lot of animators who would make animated stories, so it was never their lives I was watching. It was the stories they were telling.
What level of your life? How many of your life is parasocial, and how much of it is social reality?
I'd say 0% is parasocial.
So
I
you are an exception because
yeah.
you're a little weird in your own little way. You actually like human connection.
Yeah, I got my wife, I got Dylan, got you, who I know a lot about. And all the older generations, like I was talking to my parents, and like we don't do that. Like if Boomer or Gen X, you're probably like not doing this stuff on average.
It's weird to have I- it reminds me of my sister. She would always watch the soap operas in the afternoon, like she would look forward to it. It was predictable.
What General Hospital?
One Life to Live,
Uh,
the Bold
my
and the
mom used to watch that a
Beautiful.
lot.
hmm
Yeah,
And I always found it to be bizarre, and yet
boring.
when I got home from school, I watched DuckTales and Chippendale Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck. That was my comfort show when I
It's
got
Courage
home.
the Cowardly Dog, I guess. But I don't know if it's like, oh, Courage. I enjoyed it a lot, but
And I enjoyed spending time with those characters. But I
yeah,
never mistook it as a real relationship. Like I
no,
knew the
Courage
difference.
doesn't love me. DuckTales doesn't love you, unfortunately.
And this isn't even, and we're not going to, but this is even getting into the relationships that especially men are creating with AI. Chatbots, role playing, um, the
Oh,
apps that you download and pay for that have like some avatar that you interact with. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of weird stuff out there, but just the streamers alone, the amount of people seeking them out and calling that relationship.
Yeah. Oh, got one final point is that the personality, I mean, he's just being himself, but many influencers or streamers, they create a personality, a streamer personality. I don't know how different he is. He seems like I don't think he's putting on much of a different personality when he's live streaming. Like, but a lot of them do. And it's not so you're not really talking to how they are normally. How someone is on camera and how they're streaming and entertaining is usually quite different than how they are when you
Yep.
bump into them at a coffee shop, right?
Fluffy.
Coffee.
There's just going out and being somewhere social, whether it's
Yes.
having a cup of coffee, going out for a beer or cocktail, um, beings where you might interact with
Oh
somebody.
god, yeah, reduces surface area. You're not going out there and serendipity. No, you're in your computer or sitting while looking at your phone. Isn't that crazy?
As a
You're gonna say-
copywriter, I worked at coffee shops every day, and the majority of people I talked with on a daily basis that weren't clients were at coffee shops. Or when I clocked out, so to speak, when I was done writing,
Yeah.
go some beers,
Mhm.
go to the bar. Inevitably, somebody would talk to me. And sometimes it would be really interesting. Sometimes they
Yeah.
would become friends. Sometimes they, became lovers.
Yeah.
If you don't get out, you will never know.
Mhm.
And when you are obsessed, and that's what this really is obsession and addiction, then that need for that person's familiarity in your life, even though that person doesn't know you exist. Or if they do, you're just some name in the chat or somebody who, hey, Robert, thank you so much for the $20, Robert. I see you in here a lot. Thank you so much. And that's it. And that Robert's like, oh,
I don't think I've ever donated. Have you ever donated money to someone on stream?
yeah.
I actually haven't. I might just be a cheap bastard. I don't know. I'll give it a try.
I do it if I appreciate the conversation,
Mm.
not tension, and knowing their job.
Say my name. $20 to say my name.
Say my name whenever I am donating. No.
So listen, children, go out there and people, where you like to be and go see what happens. Who knows who you'll run into,
Here, I have Dean literally on my iPad right here. And just the time that I sat here, there's 10.
If you really want to get close to
60.
Dean, you should put him next to you when you're going to sleep, and he'll. You can,
I mean, there's $600 right here that he's gotten in just the last
wow.
few minutes that I counted.
One
And
day
that-
that's one day we'll have $600.
Well, I mean, on this thing for 6 hours a fucking day.
I know. I don't understand how sustainable. He's young, for sure.
How
He's able
sustainable is
to,
that? It's not going to be that sustainable. But
Jesus.
it won't be very long before he can have an AI avatar there for him that he will not be able to tell the difference. It will be indistinguishable, and it's happening this year. It's already happening with people like they're deep faking, and the deep fakes are getting views and comments as if they're real videos of that person.
Dean Bot,
Nobody
go
is
argue
calling it
with
out
these
as
Trump.
AI.
I mean, I blame him. Like, you listen to some of these people he's arguing with. He's like, "What? What's the point? It's not a conversation. It's just screeching."
It is, and I can't do it. Like, I'm not somebody who has the disposition to do it. And there's only so long I can look at a screen before I scream. I told you once I never played video games or owned a video game console after the original Nintendo because I know my tendency. I will get addicted to the games, and it will prevent me from living my life. And while like I got a kick out of playing Grand Theft Auto on the freaking iPad, I
Mhm.
literally had to uninstall it because I was playing it too much, and it was like, well, what else
It's a
is out
good
there?
game.
This is
They
really
have an
cool. I want
online
more.
version where people role play and they make like these fictional worlds and
Mm.
everything. Don't download that, Mark. I'll never see you again. Sorry, Brandon. No, I'm
Well,
gonna go be a cop.
be a Backstreet Boy. Be lonely. Thanks for the role playing tip. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
Some fun. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
It's important to talk about what's going on, and technology has changed everything. Our ability to stream, make videos, create relationships. I wouldn't mind getting to know some of y'all, bringing you up here, getting you on video.
Mm-hmm. Come
Let's
have a
talk about
conversation.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get to doing some lives maybe once a week, but it's like every day for 6 hours a day.
That's a young man's game. Oh,
Yeah, you have all the time in the world, but geez, does time go faster as you get older?
I know.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Let us know what
Take
you
it
think.
easy, everybody.